Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be talking about a new laptop. In fact, it's not a new laptop, it was launched last year October. It has a very unique form factor. Yes, we are talking about the ASUS Zenbook 17 Fold OLED. So we have this laptop with us. So you can see it's a very unique concept. You get a full 17.3 inches OLED screen, and this can be folded. That's one of the specialities. You can see here, this is the folded format. You have a keyboard included in the box package. When you attach it, you get a very small screen size, and when you open it, it is a full-fledged laptop with a 17.3 inches display. So you can see here, this is the full 17.3 inches display. So it is a premium form factor. You can see here, you can use it as a desktop all-in-one with a desk stand. You can see here, I can use it as a desktop with all the functionality. So that makes it a very unique laptop. This is priced around 3,30,000. It comes with Intel Core i7 and up to 16 gigs of RAM, 1 TB SSD, a massive 17.3 inches OLED display, and that makes the display one of the best experience. You can see here, this is a foldable display, and you also get this keyboard included in the box package. Apart from that, the box also comes with a leather case, and this has a very unique form factor. It's not the smallest laptop in terms of form factor, but when folded, it does give a very nice experience. You can see here, this is how you can use the laptop. So we have been using this laptop for almost 2 weeks now, and these are our experiences with this laptop. It's a foldable form factor. Now, before going into the details, let me remind you, this is not a mainstream laptop. This is a unique concept laptop, I would say. Probably the future of laptop with foldable screens. And now we are seeing a lot of foldable mobile phones. So smartphones are getting smarter. So is the laptops. So ASUS has done a pretty good job bringing this kind of form factor. That's a very good attempt, I would say. But at 3,30,000, it's on the expensive side. It's not a mainstream laptop or a laptop for the masses. But if you want to try out that concept, here is the ASUS Zenbook 17 Fold OLED. So let's go deep into this experience and see how it works. So before getting into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So let's talk about the design of this laptop. So as I said before, the unique aspect of this device is the form factor. Now this is the folded format, and you can see this is the thickness. It's not the slimmest laptop out there. You can see here there is a pretty much high thickness because it's a foldable laptop. Now once it is folded, it is pretty compact actually. It's not the lightest laptop again. It's because the form factor makes it a bit more heavy than the standard laptops of this size. Now in terms of ports, you can see here we have two Thunderbolt ports. One is here and one is on the other side. We have 3.5mm audio jack included, the power button and volume keys. Audios are tuned by Harman Kardon, and Dolby Vision Atmos is supported. So that's all inside in the ports and connectivity. You can see here there is speakers which is pretty good, and this is a leather finishing. You can see here this leather finishing also looks pretty good. So overall, it is a well-made laptop. This has some military grade standards as well. So in terms of build quality, it's very superb, and especially this leather finishing looks great. You also have this ASUS logo here. Now when you open the laptop, opening the laptop, you can see here you get this full display here. This is the full display. So as soon as you open it, you get the full 17.3 inches display, and it's a beautiful display out there. Now the top portion has these cameras here, and you can see the bezels are not the minimalistic one, but again this is not a device, the mainstream laptop. This is kind of a unique concept kind of laptop, but the hinges are very good. You can see here the hinge is very good. The flexible mechanism works really well. You can see here there is no crease on the display. That makes it really good. You can see here this is the completely unfolded format. This is 17.3 inches display. It's an OLED panel. That makes it even more beautiful display in terms of experience. You can see here this is the folded format, the open format, and this is how it folds. So it is very good in terms of that experience. So that was the design and build quality. Now if you keep the laptop like this and attach the keyboard, so there you go, you can attach the keyboard, and now it converts into a standard laptop format. So that's the difference. So this is the keyboard which is bundled with the box packaging. So as soon as you lift the keyboard, it goes to the 17.3 inches display. Now if you attach the keyboard, this is a very small, I think this is a 13-inch display. So that's something which is good. This keyboard is quite good, and the build quality of the keyboard is pretty good. It's a solid material, but there is a slight downward part because there is no full support on the display, but otherwise the typing experience looks good. So that's the design and build quality. Now in term, if you want to use the keyboard all the time, you can use it with folded condition as well. So the thickness is slightly again increased here with the keyboard. So you can see here it's not very compact, but its size is compact, but thickness and weight are not very compact. But again, as I said before, it's a very unique form factor. So now talking about the display. Now display is a very good display. It's an OLED panel. Now ASUS is pretty well known for great OLED panel. So this is no different. You get a brilliant OLED panel on this display, and this works very well. It have to peak brightness of 500 nits. You get a DCI-P 3 color gamut. Then there is Dolby Vision support. That means the watching movies etc are really impressive on this laptop and works really well. So that's the display quality. Now the touch response also feels very smooth actually, very nice in terms of the feedback you get from the touch response. So display quality is definitely brilliant, and it's an OLED panel which has this foldable format. So that's the display quality. It looks pretty good, and especially for multimedia experience, this is something which is really impressive. Next, let's talk about the performance. Now this is powered by the Core i7 with up to 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM. This is the latest version of Core i7, or rather 12th gen Core i7, and you get 1 TB of SSD included. Now in terms of day-to-day performance, we found that the laptop is quite good and capable one, because it has a really powerful processor, the Core i7, and it does the daily task pretty well. There is absolutely no issues in that aspect. But one thing what we noticed that even in the normal usage, this area had some kind of heat dissipation. You can actually feel that when using the display or rather the device. This area had some slight heat dissipation, because it's a very compact form factor and very slim in terms of the single display, I mean the unfolded display. So that way you can see that there is some heat dissipation over here, but not a major concern. You can actually feel that heat when you're using, but otherwise it's a pretty good format. So that's the performance. It's very solid performance. But one thing what I noticed was when you attach the keyboard, it automatically goes into the different form factor, but there are some minor hiccups here and there. Sometimes even when you remove the keyboard, it doesn't go to the full format, and even if you attach the keyboard, it does still stick on with the 17-inch format. So that is one area where software tuning needs a bit more kind of fine tuning, I would say. It's not bad by any means, but a slight fine tuning is required because the software experience feels slightly needs a bit more refinement, especially when you remove. You can see here this is a 17-inch laptop, but when you keep the keyboard back, it goes to the smaller screen size. So that's the performance aspect. It's a very solid laptop in terms of performance, because it has the Core i7 with 16 gigs of RAM. Now talking about the keyboard. Now this keyboard, you get a full-fledged keyboard. In fact, this is pretty compact, but then you get all the keys. You have the function keys and all the controls are there. You can see the Bluetooth connectivity. Now this keyboard, there is a power button here, and you can pair it. Very slim actually, in fact around 5 mm in thickness, very sturdy as well. But one thing what is not so great about this keyboard is that there is no backlighting. That's, at least for this expensive laptop, this needs a backlighting. That's something which is missing, that you might actually miss when you are typing in a darker condition. That is one thing missing. And apart from that, the key travel is good, but you can see here when you press these keys, you can see there is a travel for the keyboard as well, because it's on top of display. There is a small travel here. That is something may not be convenient if you're typing for longer time. That probably you can't fix it, because it sits directly on top of the display. So that is something which might be uncomfortable for many users. But otherwise, the display typing experience is pretty good, and you get a good key travel, and also the keys are pretty firm, and you get a good typing experience as well. So that was the keyboard experience of this laptop. Now ports and connectivity, as I said, two Thunderbolt ports are supported, and also ASUS includes this USB Type-C to Type-A port. So in case you want that, you get this, and here you get a decent webcam experience is also included. That's quite a decent experience, so nothing much to complain here. Now talking about the battery life, we have a pretty decent battery life actually. In fact, for a 17-inch laptop, this battery life is actually pretty good. If you're using the 17-inch full laptop, then probably you'll get around 6 hours of the usage time, which is quite good for this large display. But if you're using in this format, I mean with the keyboard, probably you can get around 7 to 8 hours, which is again pretty good for this laptop. The battery life is, I would say, it's pretty good considering how large the display is, 17.3 inches. So that way I feel this is pretty good. So that's the battery performance, and charging is not very fast actually. It does take a bit of time to charge the laptop, but otherwise battery looks pretty good. So that was my experience with the ASUS Zenbook 17 OLED or rather Fold OLED. Now what I liked about the device is the foldable format. It's a very unique concept, I would say. Actually ASUS has done a pretty good job in terms of the OLED display. It works very well, and the foldable format is good. You also get a keyboard included. Display is very vibrant, 500 nits of peak brightness, although there is a tendency of fingerprint magnet, the display being a fingerprint magnet, but otherwise the display is pretty good, especially for watching movies. It's a treat to use the brilliant OLED display. Now software experience is good, but there are some glitches which needs to be addressed. Probably the first iteration might have some bugs. Here you can see that some minor bugs. There is a slight heat dissipation issue. We feel cooling could be better actually, especially if you're into heavy task. It might, again, this is not a laptop for gamers or heavy usage, but you can do a really good experience with the Core i7 and 16 gigs of RAM. So that is pretty good, but again, heat dissipation can be improved. Battery life I felt is good. The ports are limited, but you do get 2 USB Thunderbolt ports, so that is also good. But price is 3,30,000 rupees, as I said before. It's not a mainstream laptop or a laptop for the general users. It's a very unique concept laptop. If you want to try out this Fold, this is definitely good. The implementation is good, and ASUS has done a pretty good job with the foldable series. So we expect ASUS to bring more foldable series in the coming years, more refined ones. This is probably the first iteration, and we expect ASUS to bring more and more improved products in the coming months. So that was our experience with the ASUS Zenbook 17 Fold OLED. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.